Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com and thank you.
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Boy, the storms, the superstorm, like we talked about last night. Could it actually happen? Could it have been delayed? Well, that's a good possibility. You know what? Every day we don't know what the next day is going to be, let alone something like a superstorm could happen in a matter of hours or sooner. Anyway, James, there's a lot of things going on in space.
There is, and the that one news report I just reported on, they're finding NEOs, which is near Earth objects, every day, and on an average of 2 every night.
That is interesting. But you know what? How the universe possibly could have more dimensions than we have ever imagined. And this is because our usual space-time theories just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't fit.
No, if the truth be really known, there are so many mysteries out in space that we don't know. We have a conception of what this is and that is, but a prime example, Gary, and you know this, is the black hole theory. I remember years ago when I was in school, it was only a theory we might have one. Then it was every galaxy's got one. Then it was like nothing can enter and never come out. But now we're seeing stuff come out, black holes and all kinds of strangeness.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Mad Mike. You know who Mad Mike is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, who is Mad Mike?
He was the headless chicken that lived for 18 months.
Now, but we're talking space.
Oh, Space Mad Mike. Oh, Mad Mike, that was the, I believe it was one of the astronauts.
No. Okay.
No, I don't know Mad Mike.
Okay, 2 strikes. One a chicken and one an astronaut. No, Mad Mike is the guy who's been actually launching a rocket into space, and he's trying to, and it operates off of steam.
Oh. No, I haven't heard of this man, Mike. Tell me more.
Well, it's a 3-man crew. They're going to begin. They're close to getting ready. The last time they went up 62 miles.
What?
Yeah.
62 miles? That is serious. They must have oxygen and stuff because I know you get above, 7 to 10,000 feet, you get oxygen deprived because of the pressures and stuff. But that is amazing.
Well, you know, Mad Mike Hughes, okay, with his help of Weirdo Stakes, will try again after a couple close calls to at least get up out of the atmosphere with their rocket that is steam-powered. Steam-powered rocket. I couldn't imagine a steam-powered rocket. I'm trying to fathom that in my head. I'm trying to process that. That is just mind-blowing. Why not methane gas rocket? Plenty of methane gas.
Yeah, I could. Steam. Now, wow, I'm going to have to look into that because what are they using to create their steam? And how big is this rocket to get 3 people in it to go 62 miles?
No, it's not 3 people. There's 3 people working on it. It's only going to be Mad Mike on it.
Oh, okay. Even still, that's still pretty amazing to go on a steam rocket to go 62 miles. That's something else.
I've never heard of a steam rocket. You know, I vaguely remember him doing this, but he didn't get very far last time. And I think he got hurt the last time he went up. But, I mean, steam powered. I mean, what's the purpose of steam powered anyway?
Exactly. I mean, the turn of the 19th century or the 20th century, we had steam-powered, tractors and cars. I think the first car was steam-powered. Maybe not. I think so. But that's like primitive stuff, We went from steam on up to combustion stuff, but we should have stuff now more advanced than that to go to get in a rocket. I don't know if I want to get in a steam-powered rocket. I just don't.
Well, I don't know. It'd be different. Anyway, scientists are eyeing the Martian underground. You know why?
Maybe for life?
They're in search for alien life underground.
I've heard that theory, and that would be something. Here's the thing: it would be something if they found it. But the other thing is, because remember from the Voyager probes, but would they tell us if they actually found any kind of life? Is my question. Is it what? Didn't they supposedly found some? It came back as positive for life, and they said they recanted and said, "Oh no, it was a mistake" or something years ago.
I don't remember that one. But how cold is outer space?
That's a good question. I don't know. Tell me.
Well, it's about minus 455 degrees.
Wow. That's enough to... Now, that right there is enough to freeze you instantly. Minus 400? Yeah, that will do it. You would freeze instantly, and if somebody touched you, you'd break like a glass.
But or if they got a puncture, and that tells me that their suits have to even be heated. But I tell you, if you're out in space, that is freaking cold.
Oh my goodness, that's real cold. You know that liquid nitrogen, you know how they freeze bodies and heads and other things? That's what, minus 300 degrees. But you're talking another 100 and, I think, 62 degrees you mentioned there. But that's very cold. You're right. For to be out in space, if they're out doing the moon or the spacewalks and stuff like that, you're right. Those suits really have to be heated.
Well, the Space Force, is asking Congress for $1 billion for unfunded priorities, but they can't disclose what it is.
I would love to put forward a grant to the government. I need $1 million for, I can't disclose what
it is. Yeah, but billion.
Yeah, I know they're asking for $1 billion, but I couldn't ask that high. But yeah, that's amazing. They'll probably get it too, but just because they asked for it. But we can't tell you why. We have no collateral.
Well, you know what? Since they created the Space Force, is now bringing in more youth into the military, wanting to join the military.
Oh, yeah, I kind of wondered about that. Since they've got their own Space Force, I wonder if they're all applying to be in the Space Force. Supposedly, from what I read in a couple of things, we're thinking of going back to the moon here in the near future, but we shall see.
Well, yeah, but from what I read too, and they kind of they wanted to go back, but now they kind of pushed it off again. So who knows what's going on? And
I know
we need to go back to the moon. We need to actually put a camp, a base on the moon, and make a biosphere there where they could go in and live and see what happens after they're there 6 months to a year or more before we even consider putting our feet down on Mars.
I agree with you. That is basically what Wernher von Braun proposed back in the 50s. But matter of fact, they had a whole outline program and designs and everything. They even had a name for it. I can't remember what it was, but, to have a base and everything on there. But, however, if there's other beings there and they don't want us there, supposedly, one theory, then that could cause some problems.
Well, also, the Space Force is asking for $5 billion as soon as possible because they're really worried about, the radio waves and everything being jammed. So they need the money for anti-jamming situations.
Wow. So wouldn't that be something? Sometimes, you give the wrong technology to the wrong people to do whatever. I don't know. That sounds dangerous to me.
Well, guess who should join the U.S. Space Force? They're looking for you. Qualifications, you have to be young, high school, or college preferred.
Well, that leaves me. I'm probably too old, being 70 years old as I am. Anyway, I don't know. I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people actually will sign up for that.
Yeah, it's just, they're going to be selective because, it's going to be a small force anyway to begin with. Or is it a big force and we don't know about it? Yeah, well, we're supposed to not know about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Exactly. That's the thing. I don't think, that Space Force, it's got me thinking they're not going to tell us what they're doing and what they're finding or even what's going on up there. I think it's going to be a lot of guesswork. However, I think there's going to be a lot of people with eyes on them trying to see what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, two big objects that are flaring out in space, scientists say that it's a good chance it could be two super massive black holes colliding.
That is amazing. That's right back to what I was talking about. Them black holes, we just don't know enough about them. I still think there's so many mysteries. We have an idea what we think's going on, but I think we have no clue. That's a perfect example. Two black holes colliding.
Yeah, and what happens when they do collide? Do they form one supermassive black hole? Or is there a huge, explosion?
Yeah, that is a good question. I have read from a few scientists that it creates one huge black hole. But, with that said, who knows, really? Who says it's got to? We don't know. We're proven wrong every day with our theories, pretty much, on these things in space.
Well, theories in general, keep changing all the time. Einstein theories that everybody thought was so accurate now are starting to, not hold water. It's just a lot of things are going on. It's really, really strange. Well, ripples in space and time could explain the mysteries of why the universe exists.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'd like to see somebody try to explain it. I would like to have the answer. That'd be interesting, going back 14.5 billion years in these ripples in time. And like you always say, time is something that we come up with as a label to put on things.
Time really doesn't exist. Time was basically when the Earth rotation, basically 24 hours, okay? But then it was gone farther than that. Remember the old dial clocks and stuff from the sun and all that? It would give the time and stuff like that. But we go by time, the seasons and all that stuff. But what is time? Is 24 hours actually 24 hours? Or is it 24 minutes? Or is it actually 24 seconds? So when we live to 84 years old, are we actually living to 84 or 168? Think about it. Time is just what we put on it.
It really is. And it also, it's the same way with the clock. Why does the clock go clockwise, the hands, instead of the other way? It's what we put on it. You're exactly right. And it goes, kind of wonder, if mankind had never put a label on time or come up with it, what would things be like without it?
Well, I tell you what, you couldn't make a dinner date. I can tell you that without time.
No, you couldn't.
But, the point is, what is time? Does it really exist? And how long is a minute? Is a minute is only what we label it. So,
yeah, I agree totally. And I've said before about the aliens, a minute to us or an hour to us might be a nanosecond to them or 10 days. We just don't know. Maybe they label things different, or maybe they don't even have a such thing as time, as we see it.
I don't know, but we'll find out eventually, won't we?
Well, hopefully. I would, maybe.
Well, China's set to send out another rocket out to space. They're trying to get ready to actually put a man or men on the moon, and that's why we wanted to go back to moon, because China wanted to go to the moon and we wanted to go back.
Wouldn't that be something if China got there and planted a flag and say, now this is our country? Wouldn't that be something?
Well, it would be really bad as if they go and land where we landed and the American flag is still standing. And then there's a tag on that flag. It says, made in China.
Oh, Gary, you did not just say that. Oh, boy.
I didn't say nothing. You interpreted that.
Yeah, I did. I interpreted it wrong, but my mandolin's off. It's not what it should be. But yeah, that would be something. Other countries have done that right here on Earth before, so it wouldn't surprise me. And I know they've had probes on the dark side of the moon. I wonder, here's the thing: if there's other